Okay, so let's do the lockers first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are there any more in this room? I think so. 7, 8. There's a total of 8 lockers in this room, so everything's falling over. Instead of just putting 8 single marks down, I'm just gonna say +8 next to metal locker. So when I go to record it in my phone, yeah, I'll know how many. I can just add it all up. So we'll disable these lockers since I have them recorded now. I think the only other 2 were over here, yeah. Alright. Now, how many metal shelves do we have? 1, 2. See, I go room by room. It's a little easier. 3, 4. At least I think it's easier. So, okay, so there's 4 metal shelves. So we'll +4 metal shelf. Or, rusty shelf. I guess. Metal rusty shelf. So +4. Give me a total of 7. And we'll just remove these real fast. Now, the reason why I remove everything is because, like, it's going to be easier for me to... It's easier for me, myself, to work from an empty room and start spawning things in and moving them around as I need to, as necessary, you know? Okay, so 1, 2, 3 metal table, 4. Looks like 4 metal tables. Yeah. So we have 4 metal tables. So +4 metal tables. And let's do executive chairs too. 1, 2, 3. Looks like it's going to be 4. 4 executive chairs, 1 blue chair. I'll write the blue chair down and just +1 because we already... Unless this one has anim. No, it does not. And none of those executive chairs do. They're all on top of something. Or flipped over, anyway. Alright, so we'll write down +4 exec chair. And blue chair. Or blue dining chair. I'll just say blue D chair. I know which one it is. +1. Now I can go through and remove all that stuff. See, this actually happens fast once you start getting the IDs, and you don't have to... It gets less tedious as you go. Also note this thing here is also something that's separate, and you can't walk through it. So it sometimes it helps to spawn one in and move it, or, you know, sometimes it helps to just remove those things because they get in the way. Like, because you can't walk through it. It actually stops you from walking through. It even stops you from walking underneath. Oops. Oh, wow, my mouse is going kind of crazy. There we go. Alright, so... I think that was all of them. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 3 big yellow crates. So I'm going to write yellow supply crate +3. Yellow sup crate. 1, 2, 3. And remove those. So they're out of the way. Look at that. We've already almost cleared this entire room. And it happened pretty quick. And this thing, I don't really know what it is. A floor buffer, maybe? Let's call it a floor buffer. May not be incredibly useful in the aftermath of nuclear war, but it's a machine, and machines have parts. Parts can be used for other things. 1 DBA8. DBA8. You never know. There could be some random genius who ends up in your vault, +1, who happens to know a way to turn that into a water purification system for all you know. You never know. Those parts can be used. If this were a real situation, man, it'd be interesting, but it would really suck. So I'm glad it's not a real situation, but it's fun to pretend like it is, I guess. Can't sit there. No animation for any of these chairs. 3 green dining chairs. Green, I already have those recorded, so D, chair. 1, 2, 3. And we'll remove them. Metal table, 2 metal shelves, and a bucket. Metal table, 2 rusty shelves, I should say. And a bucket. Where'd the bucket go? There it is. Alright. It's like a mop bucket, right? We're going to call this a queen bed. Oh, there's something I missed. A couple things I missed. Going to call that a queen bed. Another metal table and 2 executive chairs. 2 exec chairs, 1 metal... Oh, that's not... There we go. Table. And I'm going to write down mop bucket. While I can. Mop bucket and queen bed. I'm going to write queen... I'm going to write metal queen bed, in fact. Or queen metal bed. That's what I'll do. Queen metal bed. So all the queen beds will end next to each other. Queen metal bed, or queen bed metal if you want. Up to you. I'm trying to think in long term with my alphabetized list in my phone. So it'll be easier to find this shit when I go to look for it later. GBO. That's the bed, so it's... Because there are wooden ones in this game too. 1F. They're also just mattresses. 1F5. 5C. Whoops, did I write that down right? Yeah, I did. That looks more like a T, though. There we go. F. 55C. And we got one of those. And mop bucket. Mop. Is 0002. 36D5. 36D5. I'll probably end up cutting out some of this stuff eventually as I get to going, because a lot of it's going to be pretty obvious. But I was hoping to do it to where you could see what I was getting as I was getting it, you know? Like, oh, he found some new beds, you know? Most of you probably don't even care that much if you even watch this show, this series. That's an interesting machine. Let's start with the obvious. We got another mop bucket. Another metal table. Two green chairs. Microscope, so we'll get base object. That'll be good for like a medical lab or something. Microscope. Zero 007 HCE6. See, I'm a fan of a lot. I'm also a fan of building type games, and playing this like this, I can combine two of my favorite kind of games together. Let's add another exec chair and another metal table. Because now I've essentially by playing the game this way, I've turned it into a let's build, but I've also turned it into a sort of a let's survive or let's scavenge, and that's why I called it let's scavenge. Each. So I guess for me, it just made the game it made it interesting to play again in its own way. I play it all the damn time. Queen bed. Where are you at? Queen metal bed right there. Another thing we'll talk about with those beds. I don't really know what to call this thing. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those old newspaper readers that you would see in the library. You put the newspaper and it makes it big on the screen. You flip through it real fast. That's what it looks like. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it, well, I don't really know what to call that. I mean, it kind of looks like that, but it could also be... Let's just call it news machine. Fuck it. I'm going to call it newspaper reader. I don't even know what that machine's called, but that's what I'm calling it. 0003 4176. We got one of those. That would be cool in like a science lab as well. Okay, so we can disable that now. That takes care of that room. The kitchen. Let's do this room back here first. There's a lot of shelves in this one. Okay. Oof. Start with the small stuff. 2 rusty PCs, or start with the easy stuff, I guess. 1, 2, and how many metal shelves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 metal shelves. 10 rusty shelves. Plus 10. And then how many metal boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like just 6. Yep, just 6. So plus 6 metal box. Where are you at, metal box? Metal box plus 6. Now I can start removing all that stuff real fast. And this room will be virtually empty. See, it happens fast once you get the base object numbers, base object IDs. All you have to do is worry about actually just recording how many you have at that point. I'm going to call this Rusty Radio Machine. No, Rusty Broadcast. It looks like a radio broadcast machine or a taping machine. Let's call it Radio Equipment. Radio Equip Rusty. And then base object, of course, 00042654 plus 1. And that looks like a medical bed. Not a gurney, necessarily, but a medical bed, or a surgery bed. We're going to call it a medical bed. We'll put that in as 0004264C. 264C. And plus 1 on that one. Huh. And look at that. There's a toolbox hiding back there. How many people knew that? I sure didn't. So we'll add a toolbox. Plus 1 toolbox. And that means this room is empty. See, it goes fast. It goes a lot faster once you get the ball rolling. And it's not too bad after a while. 1 executive chair. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, looks like 8. And none of them can be sat in. None of them. So, okay, so that's 8 executive chairs. Plus 8. Plus 8. Looks like 1 yellow supply crate. Yellow sup crate, where you at? There you are. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 metal tables. Where you at, metal tables? Plus 7. I can delete all that shit right off the bat. I'm not sure I want to delete the metal tables, but I will. Because they're already in this room. But I have to decide how I'm going to make this room lay out. Oh, you know what? I didn't get this metal table back here, but that's alright. I'll get it in a minute. Got that crate too. And I got this chair over here. There we go. So we got another metal table and, let's see, a tea urn and a coffee maker. So tea urn, coffee maker, oven, and refrigerator. Just gonna write fridge. Let's do the tea urn first. And I'm going to +1 to the metal table now, so don't forget. Okay. Let's get the, we'll start with the coffee maker. Oh. Coffee maker, 0003. Whoops. 4178. We got one of those. Now the tea urn. 0002 E3B2 E3B2 +1 an oven 0002 FCA really? Nope, there's an extra 0 in there. 00002 FCA +1 Brunt FCA. Let's see. Fridge 0001 D90D. +1. Oh, that can be disabled now. Did I get that right? D90D. Yeah. Fridge is gone. Oven, tea urn, and coffee maker. Alright. Anything in this corner? Nothing in particular. Let's record this pot down. Metal pot. Will be a stock pot, looks like. 00078 CE8 +1. And another fridge and some shelves, it looks like. I'm going to call them white shelves. That's 0006 A793. +1 on that, and +1 on the fridge. Now, looky there. Fell through. It's alright. There's also probably going to be something under here. But, and I probably will move these. But these are tricky. These are a pain in the ass, and I'll show you why. Because they're in pieces. And if the pieces don't line up, you can see through. So they kind of work with like the same way as the floor. They have to line up perfectly. So it can be a real pain in the ass to get those right. And you may end up having to use decimals, but I don't like the way that's sitting way over there right next to this opening. I would rather it sat right here. Along this line. But I'm not going to mess with that right at the moment. We'll deal with that at a later time. Wasn't there another entrance blocked off? That was in the cloning labs. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and deal with this one. Now, okay, one thing to note about entrances that are blocked off, it's kind of obvious what's going to happen if you remove the stuff that's sitting in the way. What are you expecting to see on the other side? There's a reason they wanted to make sure you couldn't get through this door. We're going to add 3 lockers. Where you at? Metal locker. 1, 2, 3. I bet there's 2 metal tables up there. 2 metal tables. 1, 2. 2 blue chairs. 1, 2, and 2 green chairs. You can't see this second one, but it's kind of flipping over on top of the... They're on top of each other. You'll see it. 2 green chairs. 1, 2. Okay, so we'll start with... Darn. I was kind of hoping that had animation to it. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now, obviously, there's not going to be shit back here, and it's just going to have an abrupt ending. That, half the time, you'll have a wall, if you access an area that you weren't meant to go into, like this, for example. Half the time, you'll have a wall. Half the time, it'll just open out into the nothingness that's outside of the map. Whoops. Not what I meant to do. There we go. That's what I meant to do. Half the time, it'll just, open up into nothingness, and like this, it'll just be nothing. Not every time. Usually they're pretty good at closing off the maps, but you're not supposed to be able to access this place in the first place. This was just here for looks. We were supposed to believe that there was more to the vault, but you just weren't going to be able to check it out because there was, shit blocked off. You can still use this room, though. I mean, legitimately, it's a good storage space. Put food back here. Whatever. Who knows? Fill it full of supply crates. We do have extra supply crates now. But yeah, that's, something to bear in mind. Floor mop. We're going to call this dust mop.